Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you are enjoying this show, you should also check out the Premier Voice Podcast, hosted by myself, Aaron Kintok Sands, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, where we discuss many topics within the culture, from music, love, relationships, sex, politics, and many more. We could make you laugh, but the show could also get a little raunchy and may not be for everybody. But if you're willing to take that risk, check out the Premier Voice Podcast every Wednesday, a part of the Premier Powerverse. Other show you could check out on the Premier Powerverse is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands every Friday at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Rod every Monday at 12 p.m. And Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Listen and support on every show in the Premier Powerverse. Thank you for listening to this message and enjoy the show. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 8. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, one-fourth of the Premier Voice Podcast, and your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. And before we talk about today's episode, I just want to say Happy Black History Month to all of us. You know, on this show, I interview all kind of races on this show, and I love everybody's story, but I just want to take the time to acknowledge every Black person who came on the show, every person of color who ever come on the show and share your story. It means a lot, and I'm happy that y'all trust me, trusted platform to come on and share your stories. And even though Black history is American history and it is all year round, we should definitely be loud and proud to celebrate Black History Month in February. So once again, happy Black History Month to all of us, from every Black man and Black woman and every person of color. Happy Black History Month, y'all. And for today's episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, I do have a special guest. I have an entrepreneur. She is the owner of Silk the Salon. She have a podcast show called Bonita Speaks, and we're going to talk to her about her life journey, owning her own salon, her podcast show, and many more. This was a really, really dope conversation. And this was one guest who I wanted on the show since the beginning. So to have her on the show, it really means a lot. And I can't wait for y'all to hear this interviews. So y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
My name is Lacey, and you are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, the time for MrGentleman Facts, quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, when one door is closed, another one open. And I say this because some things do not last forever. There are going to be times where something unexpected will happen and you have to close that chapter in life. But even though that chapter in life is closed, it doesn't mean another one will not open. So just keep believing and new opportunity will come your way. So always remember, when one door closed, another one always opens. So don't give up. And that is this week with the Gentleman Facts Quote of the Day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Off Series Thursdays, where we have all of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, and tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
This is Bonita, and you are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I got my special guest. She is an entrepreneur. She is the owner of Silk, the Salon, and she got a podcast show called Bonita Speak. We got Bonita in the building. Bonita, how are you doing?
I am good. Just with a T, Bonita.
Bonita. My bad. Yeah, but
I am, I'm just taking it easy. That's kind of where I'm at in life right now. Trying to take it easy, but so much is going on.
I feel you. Yes, there's a lot going on, but I'm not gonna lie. I've been wanting you on the show since I started the show. So to finally have you on the show, yeah, it really means a lot. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate your support. Yes, I always see you supporting my content. I really appreciate that, especially nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. But before we dive into it, we're gonna break the ice a little bit. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna break the ice a little bit. So we're gonna start with, where are you from?
So I'm actually originally from Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn, but I was raised in Jersey. So I'll say just the 973. Essex County is my home. I've lived in multiple suburbs in New Jersey, Essex County, but I'll say I grew up in Maplewood. So like Maplewood, South Orange, that's my home turf right there.
That's dope. That's really dope. I did not know you used to live in Brooklyn. That's really dope. Brooklyn.
Yeah, like up to preschool. I was definitely born Kings County Hospital. I'm from Flatbush.
Nice. That's really dope. That's really dope. So, how would you describe yourself as a person? Name 3 words. Give me 3 words.
Ooh. Describing myself as a person, I am definitely ambitious. Ambitious, creative, analytical.
Those are definitely good choices. Give me one thing you like to do for fun.
For fun, they call me Dora the Explorer. Some people. So I just like, like traveling. I guess I'm kind of driven by novelty a little bit, new experiences. So like traveling or trying a new restaurant, things like that. Just being in new spaces and places.
Now, that's really dope. That's really dope. I like those stuff too as well. And what is in your headphones right now? It could be an album, a song, or even a podcast. What's in your headphones right
Oh, it's a lot in my headphones. I have a strong affinity for music, so I like collect music pretty much and make 5011 playlists. But consistently, Masego is in my headphones. He's a very awesome, like, I want to say independent artist. Of course, always Beyonce. And gospel, I really like this guy, Joe Metal.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. That's really dope. So let's talk about your beginning of life. So how was you growing up?
Growing up, well, my mom told me that I was very quiet and I sat still and I just kind of listened, and followed the rules. But I guess as I got older, I only really follow rules that I like.
Yeah.
And I guess that's part of why I'm an entrepreneur today. And I always was, it's like, I was honored for like helping other kids like as early as either kindergarten or first grade. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher. So I always liked leading, or it always came off as like mature. So I always used to hear, "Oh, you're like my mom," like from my peers, which I'm sure they were also saying like I'm no fun, or like why do I want to be responsible and do the right thing, But yeah, as a kid, I also, I really liked dolls like Barbies and playing with their hair. Yeah, and back in the day, I used to like TV. I don't really watch it like that anymore, but I didn't have cable till later, so I was definitely a PBS kid. Favorite show like Arthur.
Yeah.
I really liked, like the black sitcoms. That type of stuff was a big part of my childhood, and playing with my cousins. I've always enjoyed like family time.
Yeah. And crazy enough, a lot of it you said, I could relate to a lot of it. Well, except for the Barbie doll part, but I can relate to a lot of it. Cause I'm also like a quiet kid. Also follow the rules and stuff like that as well. Also used to watch a lot of TV. They had cable until later. Was also a PBS kid as well. So yeah, I could relate to a lot of that.
Right, but I did like Hey Arnold too a lot.
Yeah,
that's my other favorite. Once I got the cable.
Yeah. I used to watch a lot of Nickelodeon too. As once I got cable as well. Like I know all that was one of my favorite shows that I used to watch a lot.
Right, and then the music video channels like
right.
Yeah, I could watch that for hours. I used to love music videos.
Nah, me too. Me too.
I was in the place. Yeah, with streaming now, I'm just doing streaming.
Agree. I used to watch the old video channel too, because there was my BT MTV since I didn't have it when I was growing up.
Right.
Yeah. But how all that you've been through made you the person that you are today?
Oh man, well, I'll say there's things I've been through, like in adolescence, and I'm really like a justice warrior, like a justice seeker. I'm not about being treated. I just don't like being treated poorly, and I don't like to see others get treated poorly. So nowadays, I really try to use my voice and stand up against, things that I think is wrong or can be improved, whether it's just a mindset or ideology that can be improved. And I think my poor experiences with people in the past is really what has propelled me to help others, deal with or cope with, their own struggles. And also, it's like the world wants you to conform, to what they want. And I don't necessarily like, what's considered normal a lot of the times. So I'm very passionate about showing people that, there's another way. Like there's another way to live a good life. There's another way to go about things. There's another way to think. So I'm very big on like improvement and making things better and just helping people, like total wellness,
Yeah.
across the board.
And I could relate to that 100%. Yeah, I could really relate to that as well. 'Cause I always like to see people. Always want to see people do better as well and improve in life and stuff like that, and do all I can to help them the best way that I can. So I could relate to that 100%.
Yes. We love to see it.
Yes, agree. But one thing you did mention, you did say you are an entrepreneur, and we're going to talk about your business in a few. But my question to you are, what inspired you to do hair?
Okay. Well, I want to say I remember, so we like, me and my cousins, like we like playing with Barbies. So my cousin had an Ariel doll, and I just remember, the braid unraveling. So I followed it, right? I followed it in the opposite direction, and that's how I learned how to braid. And I feel like I just kept playing with hair. It's like, I don't know. My dad says I like hair since I was 2. So it's like, I don't know why I took a liking to it, but it happened. And so it went from like Barbies to like a Bratz doll. I believe the Bratz came out with some type of mannequin, played maybe like hairstylist type of deal. And then for my 12th or 13th birthday, like 7th grade, I asked my mom for a mannequin head. Like, who does that? Like a real mannequin head. And she got it for me. And I brought this thing like everywhere. Like I brought it to school. I brought it to family cookouts. I just brought it everywhere and was always experimenting. Doing different hairstyles. I had taught myself how to braid, then I taught myself how to cornrow. And then eventually, I found out too late that I could have did cosmetology in high school because my mom was pushing for that. So by the time I done did a semester of college and couldn't afford to stay, I had a semester off, and then I went to cosmetology school because I was already doing hair at home since like elementary or middle school and all throughout high school. I didn't really work like so-called regular jobs like retail or fast food. I've never really done that outside of a very, very brief stint at a pizza place to end of high school. But my job was like always doing hair. And so my dad suggested I become official, because I was doing hair at home unlicensed, right? So he suggested I become official. And that was very, very good advice. So by the time I was 20 years old, I was already a licensed cosmetologist. I went in at 19 years old, in 2010. And I did the program in 10 months. And I literally kept doing hair ever since. I even graduated college in 2015. I never got a job with my communications degree. I never had a 9 to 5. I've never had a full-time job with benefits before. I just had this one internship with the MTA Bridges and Tunnels in my junior year of college. They didn't invite me back the next summer. I tried to work for L'Oreal. maybe like a year or so after graduation. They did not hire me, even though I felt like my name was on the job description. They wanted someone with that was social media savvy. They wanted someone with a communications or marketing background, and they wanted somebody with like a cosmetology license. But they did not pick me.
Oh
They
wow.
pulled the whole experience card on me, but they knew I was a recent graduate. But so yeah, I just kept doing hair, and here we are, literally the year after that denial, that job denial. I signed the lease to my salon, so it's almost 8 years of having the keys. And my business anniversary is actually in 2 weeks as far as being open to the public. Yeah, February 13th, because I opened February 13th, 2018.
Oh
So
wow.
that's kind of how the story went. I just I've always been creative. Certain other type of environments is just kind of too boring for me. So it feels like a slow death being in like rigid kind of environments. Sometimes I need a lot of flexibility to
And
just go thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just gonna say that your story was very, very motivating. I'd have to say that you went through a lot, and then you got to where you got it to, and that's amazing. I just want to say that that's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, because startup was, I went through a lot for startup. They made it very hard. It was just very hard to open. It took me like 7 months to open. It was very, I think about it almost every day. It was very stressful.
Yeah, but I'm happy that you are where you're at now, and I'm happy you're here to talk about Silk, the salon. So tell us more about Silk and how what made you want to go name it that.
Great question. So I was just chilling in my bed in my parents' place, when I lived with them, and I literally asked God. I was like, "So God, what we gonna call this?" And that's just what I felt in my spirit. I do the silk press has always been like a strong suit of mine. Something I do well. And I like alliterations. It's like when a word starts, when a series of words like start with the same sound or same letter. So silked, the salon, it just kind of flows, or gets silked in South Orange. And then, even my services, silked and sassy, silked and sleek, silk supreme instinct. I'm an artist, I'm a rhymer, I rap. I just like things to sound good and flow. It's good for marketing. So that's how I came up with the name. And then down the line, I just brainstormed the logo, which I really like, and strangers compliment me on my logo, when they see it on a t-shirt all the time. And I just I knew I needed my own space. One day I was just like, I'm never gonna be happy in other people's salons, because I just don't like the way people do things. I ain't like the way I was treated. People was playing with my money. People were,
Yeah.
you know, just acting like they just above me. Like, I wasn't treated well by many bosses except for maybe like two. Dare I say three, but yeah, maybe two bosses. I worked in like 7 places, 7 salons before having my own. And yeah, I needed, the peace there is a peace and serenity that comes with having your own space. As stressful as it is to run business and serve the public, there's still a peace and serenity that comes with calling the shots. And I just wanted an environment that I can like and, feel regulated in, and an environment that the clients could like as well. We don't got to worry about other people being rude. We don't got to worry about certain things or just inappropriate behavior. I run, it's like I run a tight ship, but I'm also kind and, considerate and flexible too.
Yeah. And like I said, you are killing it, and congrats on the upcoming anniversary of your salon. Most likely by the time the episode's out, it will be already be the anniversary. So happy anniversary to your salon.
Oh, nice words. Yeah.
And if anybody want to come to your salon, where is it located? So I could let my audience know so they could check it out.
So Silk the Salon is in South Orange, New Jersey. 75 South Orange Avenue in South Orange, New Jersey. It is Suite 210. I'm on the second floor facing the main road. It's a big white building on the corner of South Orange Ave and Valley Road or Valley Street and Scotland Road. And so yeah, South Orange Village is just a quaint downtown area about a block and a half from the NJ Transit South Orange Station, which takes you straight to New York Penn Station in like 33 minutes. So very easy even for the non-drivers like myself. And yeah, and then all people got to do is they can call my business line or book an appointment on my website, which is on Schedulicity, which I also have in the link in my Instagram bio.
All right, there you go. And what is your main goal for your business? And name one thing that is challenging in running your business.
Okay, so my main goal for my business right now, of course, it is always satisfied customers. Aside from that, I desire for the business to run without me. So I would like at least one reliable, competent, and skilled stylist with great customer service and communication skills to take clients when I'm not there. Because I also cannot match everyone's schedule. It is insane. So I guess that is the perfect, answer to what is challenging about running the business. It is also challenging to run it by yourself and be the head of every department.
Yeah.
Like I have an accountant, but I do the bookkeeping. So outside of that, I literally do everything else myself. So I do the hair. I operate in and on the business. That be going over people's head because there's work to be done even if you're not doing a client's hair. Like I'm the one, I do the hair, I capture content, I create the content, I run the social media, I do the laundry, I do the cleaning, I do the marketing, whether it's on or offline. I do the client communications. I'm the one talking to the clients, after hours, before hours, during hours. Like I literally do everything. And then again, it's very challenging. We serving all different types of people with all different types of schedules. And it's like, you just cannot please everyone. Some people need the morning shift. Some people need a night shift. Some people can't come in the middle of the day. So it's like I had to learn boundaries and, pick what works, for me. And it's also been challenging considering, some health issues that I've been dealing with going in and out of the hospital and, things dealing with health issues that kind of drain my energy and how much energy I can exert in a field that requires like long standing and a high exertion of energy, like the blow drying and the washing. I do a lot of people with a lot of hair. Like it is actually very draining. And just the physical and mental aspect of it all, that is what's difficult. And just having a bunch of tasks, so many tasks. That is.
But I do got to shout out to you because you do a lot. You definitely do a lot, and shout out to you. But also take it one day at a time. Of course, take it one day at a time because
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because we all love to work hard, but we also need to take it one day at a time. That's all my audience though. That's all my audience.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning now. Like even tomorrow, I didn't see nobody on the book tomorrow, so I actually just blocked it off. I'm just gonna give myself more time for myself to do what I gotta do because I also gotta go to the doctor tomorrow, and I have a meeting with the town tomorrow. So I'm like, putting hair and but doing clients in between that, it just might be too much. So sometimes you gotta know when to sit down. So that's
I agree with that. Trust me, I agree. I do a lot myself, so trust me, I agree with that. But on that salon, not the only thing that you do though, you also have a podcast show. So before we talk about the podcast show, what inspired you to start a podcast?
So what inspired me was the fact that I'm just so opinionated. I'm so opinionated. I have very strong opinions, views, and morals. And it's all this stuff going on in my head. And I feel like I just gotta get it out somewhere, Like my brain is like never off. So yeah, I just needed like another outlet, I felt. And I thought it would be a good idea, a good idea that can grow into something more. And, also help people or help others feel maybe seen, heard, understood, or also help me find my people.
Yeah, yeah. So you got the show Bonita Speaks. So tell us about that. What when you made come up with that name and idea?
Uh, it actually was hard, pick settling on, a name. I think I even first had B Speaks, but I don't know, somehow I think somebody even suggested I just settle on Bonita Speaks, but I felt like it flows. Also, it was hard because apparently a lot other people are using, Bonita in some way, shape, or form. So I had to pick what wasn't exactly in use already either. But I'm speaking my mind, So I just felt like it was the perfect name. Yeah. Perfect name for speaking my mind. And also, I'm known as a quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sometimes people are surprised. Like sometimes I get hit with this is the most I heard you talk. Or this is the most I heard you speak. So I thought it was the perfect name.
And trust me, I could relate to that. But
yeah, it's like I do, it's like I do speak. I do, but I just speak about certain things. I'm not really a small talker, That's all.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But I did heard the show. I heard the show when it first was out. And I believe it was like around the time I started my show. So when I heard it, I was like, okay, she got a podcast show too. Oh, okay. And I was like, listen, I actually really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. When you started the show, yeah.
I appreciate that. Yes, I know people did tell me they like my viewpoint on things, which I guess is another reason I started it to begin with.
Yeah. But if any of my audience want to listen to it, where can they listen to it?
So I believe it's Apple, like iTunes. I just know Apple is like the main thing, and Spotify. I know those are two platforms where you can listen to it.
All right, there you go. So at one point during your podcast journey, you just stopped doing the podcast show. so I want to know, like, why did you stop doing it during that time, and what made you want to bring it back now?
That's a good question too. I don't know. I guess maybe I was just overwhelmed with, I guess, my life at the time. It's always a lot going on this side, so
yeah.
I guess I had to drop something, and yeah, I think that might have been it. I had to drop something. I also wasn't sure how many people was really,
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a lot of people were engaged, but I do have one episode that has like the most views, which is when I was kind of talking about Beyonce. Be in it for the long haul. That one seemed to have the highest amount of like listens or plays. But yeah, I think just too much on my plate.
Yeah.
So it just kind of fell to the wayside. And then what made me want to bring it back was again the need, feeling like I have so much to talk about and I have so many strong opinions that I just had to like get out or feel heard. But I will say it might even like podcasting might even be more work than I really truly feel like doing. To be honest, it's like I definitely would have rather like audio only, but I know video performs better. So then
Yeah.
like, oh, so I gotta get this and I gotta get that and I gotta do this and I gotta draft up these episodes and I gotta,
Yeah.
it's just I think it's the work part and just I don't know, it kind of adds to my I don't want to say if it adds to my anxiety or task paralysis. Like it's just another thing on the plate. So I'm even questioning if like it's like do I continue? Because so
Yeah.
far it's just easier for me to make like the short form content, like say via reels.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Post that, but maybe I should even move that to I don't know, something like Patreon or I don't know, YouTube. There's something where I could maybe even benefit more um, from putting, my ideas out.
Yeah.
But something to think about. But in a nutshell, I brought it back because I've gained even more like stronger views on things that I feel just need to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially with everything going on right now, yeah, we need we need more voices to be heard. I'm not gonna lie, because yeah,
Right.
yeah. But you pretty much already answered this already. Like, what message you want to bring to your audience? You pretty much answered that already. But
Okay, yeah, like for Bonita speaks, I'm I'm really interested in helping others build community. Like that is a very big deal to me. And
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like these online spaces are a great tool for community building and finding people that are similar to yourself or finding people, like-minded, kindred spirits. I'm also, my new special interest right now is like various mental health, disorders, like or so-called disorders and
yeah,
disabilities, because I'm learning more things about myself, so my whole life makes sense now. I'm claiming neurodivergent right about now, and there's many different types of neurodivergencies, if that's a word. So I'm kind of focused on that right now and finding my people on that note and helping people cope or understand like past issues in their life or past traumas in their life that may be related to being neurodivergent.
yeah,
And I'm interested in informing people that aren't neurodivergent, um, about it so that they can have more empathy towards people that are and treat people better, and then the world will just be a better place.
yeah.
And
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. And good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then I'm also very passionate about you know, just interpersonal relationships in general, like, different groups living in harmony, and
Yeah,
also, single women, the struggles of, being an older single woman or long term single, especially like, I'm a Christian, especially in the Christian world. I'm very passionate about supporting women along those lines as well and helping others to understand how we're feeling and where we're coming from and what we need and how others can help us. So I'm very big on that. I like talking about that.
okay, nice. And good thing you mentioned two things that we're gonna talk about in a few: being single and mental health. But hold up on that, because we about to mention that in a few. We're gonna mention that in a few. But I do got a question. Like, if you could interview anybody right now, who will be your dream guest? Name three people.
Oh wow. Well, I do love my leak Teal. I love her. She's a great entrepreneur. Who I would love to interview Beyonce. I mean, she's awesome, and I also resonate with her a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know. Another, if I got to interview someone, I'd have to think about that. I do. There is a Christian sexologist I like too. Oh, there's a lot of people I find interesting in the world.
Mhm.
I should say like that. Yeah, like just a lot of interesting people in the world. Like there's my D Woodward, like a lot of these creative like entrepreneurs, and I like those kind of people. I feel like it's a lot of people I would interview on that note. Even like Masego, the musician, I like. There's so many.
Those are good picks. Those are good picks. Those are good picks. So you just mentioned about this about single.
Mm-hmm.
So in your opinion, how do you feel about being single, and how do you feel about dating in this generation?
Mm. So the way I feel about being single. So to be honest, I am tired of being single. I am absolutely tired. I've been single this by the spring. I would have been single for 10 years.
Oh wow.
So that's a long time.
Mhm.
And I was officially tired of being single around 31 years old. So I'm about to be 34 in March.
Mhm.
So, I'm independence, I guess, like I was basically saying earlier, just independence in general can be very overwhelming when a lot is on your plate. A lot of bills are on your plate. There's no division of labor at home. And for me also, there's no division of labor at work. I come home, or there's no one to bounce ideas off of, and there's no intimacy. So it's like I have to pick up my phone for connection. If I want to talk to somebody, I literally have to pick up my phone, or I have to just exit my apartment and I don't know, see who's in the hallway, like or call other people to come out their apartment. But again, I have to pick up my phone for connection. Whereas if, say, I was married and, with my own family,
Yeah, yeah,
my connection would be in my home.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
um, yeah, so I would say I'm definitely tired of it. But at the same time, it's like I'm a lover girl, but I'm not someone that just would just be with anybody just to not be lonely. But it is lonely at times to be single long term. That's one reason I made Solitude Season, an ebook that I made. But on the flip side, I'm realizing that ebook was also about neurodivergent struggles, because being neurodivergent can come with some real solitude and loneliness as well. But which goes back to me, being very passionate about community. I
yeah,
think it's very important, and I'm just not here for people trying to villainize, like women in their 30s who
yeah,
express
yeah,
publicly that they are longing for love. Like there's literally nothing wrong with that.
yeah, yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yep.
Yeah, but I would say, yeah, I agree. Single is, I mean, it's not the best, but while dating in this generation, I think single might be the best thing, honestly, because yeah, dating in the generation is
Oh
terrible.
yeah. Right. Oh yeah, back so to the other question. You know, people, it's a lot of trauma, I feel. It's a lot of trauma. Also, times have changed. So this generation, especially like millennials, I want to say
Yeah,
millennials and Gen Z, this is like the first time where like men are realizing that, you know, what you can provide in your finances is just not enough to
Yeah.
like keep, keep a woman happy and engaged, like in a relationship. Like women are looking for intangible things. Women are looking for emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. Women are looking for a hands-on partner at home. Women are trying to have help with the division of labor. Women want help with kids, and women want help with cleaning and cooking and maintaining a home, and they don't want all the physical and mental load on them anymore. Whereas
Yeah.
maybe a lot of our elders were living like a different kind of life, and it's like men didn't have to be likable, they just had to provide. Now
Yeah.
we actually want to be with likable people that actually like and see us as humans, and not just, you know, I don't know, a nurse or a cook, or, this, I don't know, sex slave, whatever you want to say. But
Yeah.
it's like women are real people with real emotions and real opinions. And I think a lot of men need to acknowledge and respect that.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, day and the generation is different, not only for men but also for women as well. It's different all around, especially for us millennium. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. it's a lot.
Uh,
Yep.
Facts on.
Yep. Yep. But as you know, we are in a pandemic. The way we think going on now, we know where we are. But how do you feel about the pandemic when it was happening, and what did you learn from it?
Mm. Well, the pandemic was a big shift, I'll say. It was a very big shift because it's like I went from busy body, booked and busy, globe trotting, to just everything just stopped. Like all the money coming in, it just stopped. Like it was real spooky. And I wasn't able to be here, there, and everywhere. And, got a little stir crazy. Like going out, walking to the park, walking around town, that helped, but
Yeah.
it was a very lonely time for me. I live by myself. I've actually lived by myself for almost 7 years now. I
Mm.
wasn't even seeing my family much in that time because of COVID, and one by
Yeah.
one, they were getting sick. So I believe in the world, the pandemic helped people realize more of like what's important to them.
Yeah.
Um, it helped it really changed the way like business is done and run, and it really altered mindsets. It helped strengthen some relationships, it weakened some relationships. um it made people get more serious about, say, savings, or
Yeah.
made more people understand like, what's important to them. Like, and I know a lot of people don't respect like service providers and artists, but what did people long for and try to lean on in those hard times? Service
Yeah.
providers and artists.
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
so the pandemic, you know I also believe it made people like face themselves. It's like less distractions. It's like you really have to face yourself, like who you really are, and even what you really look like, because a lot of us, were forced to not be in business at that time. So I didn't work for 3 months. A lot of people had to, face the real them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Day in and day out. And for me, like business wise, it actually was a good time. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's actually one of the best times for me business wise. It's like you either sank or swam in the pandemic, and I definitely swam. To me, it's more so after the pandemic where things were, different. Like things
Yeah.
was in the business world and financially. all that extra money wasn't flowing around the economy anymore. It really was a turn.
Yeah.
So it's like we're in a recession right now, even if they don't want to say it. But the way I see it, 2022 and beyond has been like a recession.
I agree 100%. And yeah, it was a lot, but that's not the only thing we were dealing with. We also been dealing with mental health, as you mentioned earlier. So why is mental health so important?
Whew. So mental health is very important just for your overall wellness. Depression can really be paralyzing.
Yeah,
Like you won't do anything. It's like it's hard to get out the bed. It's hard to feed yourself and do basic hygiene. Depression. It's just not a state you want to be in, and it's not a state you want to be in for a long time. So a proper, positive mental health is just best for society and just individuals alike.
yeah,
Better mental health. If mental health was in check more, there would be less divorce. There would be less killings and murders. There would be a lot of things just would not happen in the world. If people truly felt better about themselves, like there wouldn't be all this bullying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mental health is so important. Self-esteem is so important. Feeling heard, seen, heard, understood, and validated is very important. It's just that on that note, we need healthy ways for that.
Uh, I agree, and yeah, mental health is a lot. I mean, I deal with it, of course, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. But yeah, but I feel like it's definitely important to talk about because you just never know what somebody's going through. So
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
so that's why I tried to talk about it on the show every chance I get now. So yeah,
And empathy is important because again, you don't know what people. That's why it's like people need to be informed about many things so that they can
correct.
have
Yeah,
more empathy towards others.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. But let's get back to like more brighter things. Let's get back to brighter things though. So, what is your dream venture? Something that you always want to do, but you haven't done yet.
Oh, well, something I'd like to do in the future is be, like really truly be operating as a maybe a life coach, like a life and or business coach. It's like I have taught some classes, and I'm proud that I taught a class, customer care and hair. But to do it more often, but to be like a life coach, some type of life coach, and just help people with their life problems and get paid for that.
Yeah,
That's something I'd like to do.
no, that's really dope, man. Anything possible, you should definitely do it. You should definitely do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking into it right now. I know it's like you don't need a license to be one, but the certifications, it's some money that I don't have right now.
Yeah,
I did pay for a class that kind of teaches about life coaching and consulting and mentoring and teaching, and it just helps you kind of pick which route you want to go down. Um, I'm actually, it's like I need to watch that next, but yeah, I think the route for me is the life coaching and business coach. I can help people that are interested in entrepreneurship that maybe have just like no idea about it. Um, and I could also probably help seasoned and new entrepreneurs alike. But I also was taught that it's like you can't do business coach. It's like you shouldn't do business coaching without life coaching because it's like you can't forget about the person themselves. So
mm,
that's something I'm really interested in right now. So it's just about, am I going to be starting without certification,
mm.
and just doing my own thing, or waiting to get the funds for actual certification. And maybe down the line I could even coach existing, like companies, like big companies, and help them communicate better in their companies as well. I'm not sure I'll go down the whole because people ask me if I would go back to school for psychology because they see my interest. I'm not so sure, if I would become like an actual psychologist or therapist, but I do feel like the life coaching could be a good way for me to go, and I can refer people to psychologists and therapists.
No, and if you do that, that would be really dope. You should definitely get into that. That'd be really dope.
Thank
That'd be
you. I appreciate it. So that's a goal for the year.
mm,
Most definitely.
good goal. Good goal. And what other project that you got going on that you haven't spoken about yet, or that you can reveal? If you don't have anything, then don't worry about it. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess that was just it. That was the plan so
Okay.
far.
Okay.
I would like to do that life coaching, and I would like my salon to run without me. That's pretty much the gist. I thought about like, oh, would I be a cosmetology school teacher? But I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. Again, the cost of getting that teacher license. I'm not sure if the cost makes sense for the pay. It's like I should just keep doing hair. But yeah, definitely business running without me and becoming a life coach. Those are two big dreams of mine.
There you go. And keep killing it, because you are doing amazing things right now. Keep killing it, for real, for real.
Thank you.
And what do you have to say for everybody going the same route as you? Say something inspirational from you owning a business, the podcast, anything. Something inspirational.
Wow, something inspirational. I would say there is nothing wrong with being seen trying. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing cringe about promoting yourself or asking for a sale. If you're in business, you need to sell. You need to sell yourself and your business. So yes, people are tired of being sold to, but you have to do it anyway. And there's always a stranger somewhere willing to support.
Yeah.
And I would say don't sleep on marketing. It is a very, very important aspect of business. So it's like you have to be diligent and consistent about marketing in at least one avenue, like at least one way. I don't care if it's social media or Google or real life, in person, face to face marketing. Be consistent about at least one form of marketing. And also, we got to tune out the noise of the unbelievers. Because people,
That's a good.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Continue. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. People will project their limitations on you, their insecurities on you, but you are allowed to want something different. You do not have to want the same life that other people want. If you want a different life, if you want greater things in life, that is okay. If you want things that other people did not think about, that is okay too. So I will say stay consistent. And sometimes you do have to get out of your neighborhood and go somewhere else and meet some different people with a different mindset. Or maybe you got to see what's going on in this other part of the country. Like, I've traveled a lot for business. So if you have the means and you can afford it, I recommend going to conferences and classes outside of your neighborhood. I think that's very important for people in any field, and networking. Don't be afraid to say hi to people and get to know them. And offer, sometimes you could just offer something of value, whether it's even just an idea or feedback or help. And these are all things that can, affirm people. These are all things that help you network. Say something good about somebody instead of, well, what's so good about them? What's so great about them? Change that mindset and affirm people. So, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Food tidbits.
And I go like that was really good advice, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
No
And,
problem.
and before you go, we're gonna play a segment game called Five Random Topics, where I ask you five random topics, and you give me a short or long response. I will also join in on this with you as well. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first question I'm gonna ask is your favorite food.
Oh. Favorite food, pastries. Pastries like, cake, brownies, cookies, pie, baked mac and cheese, and jollof rice.
Okay, good choices. Good choices. Me, I'm gonna say soul food, Thai food, and Caribbean food.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a foodie too. Yeah, I like food. what
Yes.
what is your favorite album of all time?
Oh, wow. So I can't pick one. So I listen to too much. I listen to too much music. So I'm gonna throw out some albums I really like. I like Beyonce's self-titled album. Beyonce.
Mm.
That's the surprise album she did.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
yeah.
That's a dope album. College Dropout.
Mm.
Kanye West. Very dope. I like all of Masego's projects.
Mm.
All of them. Um, yeah, those are Usher Confessions.
Of course, of course, of course.
The Writings on the Wall, Destiny's Child. And Michael Jackson, Past, Present, Future. I like
Mm.
that compilation. Um, yeah, those are some of my favorites right there. And even Alicia Keys, Diary of Alicia Keys, I like that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that one too. I like that one too. Um, yeah, you threw out a lot of good ones. You threw out a lot of good ones. But if I have to say, I'm gonna say three now. Of course, Usher Confessions, Kanye West Graduation, and Michael Jackson Thriller.
Right, right. I just was listening to Graduation yesterday because that's the one I didn't really go in on,
Mm.
and I like it. It's also relatable.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That one definitely one of my favorite Kanye West albums. Definitely.
Yeah, because he's absolutely neurodivergent,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
talking about the struggles in the music.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Next question is your favorite movie.
Hmm. So I'm not a big movie buff. Like film and TV isn't really my jam. So, but again, I do like me some black people movies. Oh man, I don't know. Favorite? I'll just say things I really enjoyed was like The Wood.
Mm.
Even Waiting to Exhale, I've enjoyed that. Um, yeah, I'll say that's if I gotta pick a favorite. I really like that. Yeah, I definitely really like The Wood.
Mm.
But I'm not a big movie buff.
Mm. Okay, okay, got you. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna say The Last Dragon. I used to watch that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to watch that a lot as a kid. Yeah. All right. Number four. One place you want to travel to?
Um, I haven't I haven't been to South America yet.
Mm.
So I haven't done South America. So any South American country, especially like maybe Colombia, um, yeah, or Costa Rica, Central America, South America, Asia, I haven't done.
Mm.
So, but also Greece.
Mm.
I'd like to try Greece. Yeah, and maybe even more African countries. Is it like or African, other African spots aside from Ghana? I finally went to Ghana. I would have said that if I didn't go in April. Or like Zanzibar and, places like that.
Nice. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't really travel like that. I mean, I need to travel way more, but I had to pick one place. Definitely will start with Paris, though. I want to go to Paris. That's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been either, but I was in London. Yeah.
Nice. And last question, which will be a little weird one, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Do you have a favorite cartoon character, whether it was when you were as a kid or now?
Oh, definitely Arnold. Hey, Arnold. Definitely. I don't know. I just felt like he was mature, cool kid. I guess that's how I feel. So I really like Arnold.
Nice. That's a good choice. And for me, of course, it was either Bug Bunny or Mickey Mouse. I always growing up, yeah. Bug Bunny and Mickey Mouse, yeah. But Bonita, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your story and sharing everything that you did, and continue to do amazing things from the podcast, your business, and everything. I'm looking forward to everything that you're about to come up. And once again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate this opportunity, and I thank you for even believing in me and just even liking what I do and thinking what I do is dope. I really appreciate that, and you are very organized. That is a wonderful trait. And you are consistent too with your show. So congratulations on that. That is very important and admirable. So I really appreciate this opportunity and this time. Thank you for your time.
Yes, and thank you for coming on. And before you go, drop your social media where everybody can reach you, and drop everything like where they go to business and everything like that. This is your time.
All right. So thank you for listening. This is Bonita. I am the owner of Silk the Salon, which is in South Orange, New Jersey. My social media for Silk the Salon is Styled by Bonita. And the way you know it's me, I got 2 flags in my bio, the Ghana flag and the Barbados flag. Styled by Bonita on Instagram. And I have a Schedulicity link in my bio on Styled by Bonita Instagram. I also have www.styledbybonita.com, which hosts my ebook, Solitude Season. Solitude Season is in the bio of Styled by Bonita Instagram and Bonita Speaks _. So I have Bonita Speaks _ on TikTok and Instagram. We really get it popping on TikTok. It's different over there. So please be sure to follow my other brand as well. I'm actually probably coming out with a Silk the Salon Facebook. I'm going to try to get that going. Just taking a new approach. I may or may not have a Silk the Salon Instagram as well. But so far, it is Styled by Bonita for the hair and lifestyle things. And Bonita Speaks for my thoughts, more of my thoughts. And 973-913-4670 is my business line. You can contact me and book appointments, inquire, ask me your questions via my business line. And you can also book a consultation on my Schedulicity website. And that is it.
All right, there you go. Thank you again for coming on the show, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman. Now, I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spin-off Series Thursdays. And Spin-off Series Thursday is the new home for MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spin-off Series that brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game, and we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the Old School Show that featured myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the Old School Show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Bonita B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday, A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursdays. The Old School Show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! And I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning into this latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you to my special guest, Bonita, for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. And continue to do amazing things with Bonita Speaks and your salon, Silk the Salon. Thank you once again for coming on. And like I said, this was a long time coming. And I'm happy to finally have you on the show. Once again, thank you for coming on MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You could check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series, and every Thursdays for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Ms. Bonita every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. And the Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. New season of spin-off series Thursday shows. A Conversation About Music Podcast in May. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself, Ms. Bonita B. in February 20th. And the Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride in June. So save those dates. Spin-off series Thursday is returning this year. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show, 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Podchasers. The more y'all rate the show, more people know about Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you want to be a guest on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, send me a bio about yourself and everything that you do to my email, KenYPGENT@gmail.com, or hit me up on social media, Ken_Mr. Gentleman. I repeat, Ken, KEN_Mr. R Gentleman, GENTLEMAN, and we can set something up because we're looking for guests for the second half of season 8 and season 9 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Now it's time for our favorite segment. It's time for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Shoutouts, where we shout out 4 to 5 shows and we give them their flowers. Last week, we shout out 5 shows last week. The Java Tier Podcast, Wrestling Fans Insight, Wrestling with Faith, Let's Talk About It with Ange, and Those Wrestling Girls. Check out those 5 shows that we shout out last week. And this week, we got 4 new shows that we will be shouting out. And the first show we're going to shout out is My Survivor Voice, the podcast, hosted by Danny Ella. This is a podcast show where voice stand for voice independence, closure, and empowerment. And I listened to the show. This is a really, really deep show. And y'all should definitely check out My Survivor's Voice, the podcast. This is a really good show. Definitely check it out. Next show that we're going to shout out is It Michelle podcast, hosted by Michelle S. And, you know, this show fall into the black hole, that adulthood, and forget anything else life is this. Show is really funny. She discussed with many topics. She very funny on her show. I was on her show, so this is a really dope show. Check out the It Michelle podcast. Next show we're gonna talk about is Confident Cafe, hosted by Tiffany. And on this show, she pretty much talk about many topics and it's very inspirational. And this is a really, really good show. Definitely check out the Confident Cafe right now. And the last show we're going to talk about is the Zaya Show, hosted by Zaya, where we dive into self-discovery and personal growth throughout his conversations and comedic tales. And the Zaya Show is a really good show as well. He was on my show. And yeah, check out the Zaya Show. And check out the 4 shows that I just mentioned. My Survivor Voice, the podcast, It Michelle podcast, the Zaya Show, and Confident Cafe. That is this week, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Shoutouts. Chill! And y'all already know, add me on Good Pods, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. Y'all already know Good Podcast and many independent podcasts. We can listen to each other's show. We can see what everybody listens to, and we have the charts. And at the time, it's time for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Achievement, where we spotlight everything Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast is doing. And of course, we are on the Good Pod charts. And for the top 100 shows, we are number 7 for top 100 shows and number 5 on the indie charts. For Society and Culture, we are number 1. We are still number 1 for 18 days. And for Personal Journal, we are still number 1. We've been number 1 for 20 days. So thank you, everybody, that continue to listen and support Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Good Pods and every other platform. Shout out to Feed Spot. We are still on their top 35 Gentleman podcast. We are number 2 right now. So thank you, everybody that continue to support Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. It really means a lot. And check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. You go listen to every episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Go watch every video of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, from the audio version from Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV, from Mr. Gentleman Quote of the Day. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ken_Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube. Ken, a.k.a. Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube. Check out every guest who's been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. All 75 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You guys check out my guest appearances that I've been on for other podcast platforms. More guest appearances coming soon. And check out the official merch store from MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.tpublic.com. Just search Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Store. We have shirts, hoodie, mugs, and many more. Support the merch store so we can upgrade your listening experiences. So check out the official merch store of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.tpublic.com. Search Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Store and check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. Once again, thank you everybody who took the time to listen to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. It really means a lot. On the next episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, y'all already know what time it is. Love is Love 2025, the Valentine's Day episode. Y'all already know what I do on these episodes. And check out the Valentine's Day episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on not normal time on Friday, February 14th. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode.
It's your girl, Victoria J, and you're listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.